Next on BGSU's Brain Game, it is Defiance versus Toledo Christian. We very well may be in store for a monstrous mental meltdown. Only one of these teams can leave victorious. The question is, who is it going to be? Only one way to find out in BGSU's Brain Game. It starts right now. And welcome to BGSU's Brain Game. It is Defiance versus Toledo Christian. Let's get right to it and meet our teams. Toledo Christian, tell us who you are.
I'm Max and I'm a sophomore. This is Caleb and he's a junior, and this is Nathaniel and he's a freshman.
And you're coached by?
We're coached by Mr. Johnston.
All right, welcome to Toledo Christian. Defiance, tell us who you are.
I'm Xavier. I'm a junior. We got Brandon on my... I'm so sorry. Brandon, he's a junior over here, and David over here, he's also a junior, and we are coached by the James Kerr.
All right, well, welcome to Defiance as well. We start things off as we always do in our toss-up round. In this round, all questions are worth 10 points. There's no deduction for an incorrect answer, so you can be a little bit looser on your buzzers. You may confer before buzzing in, and you can steal a question in this round. Toledo Christian, Defiance, are you ready? All right, your toss-up round starts right now. Jawaharlal Nehru was the first prime minister of this nation after it gained, that would be Defiance. Xavier.
Israel.
Incorrect. Gained its independence from Great Britain. Toledo Christian, would you like to steal? That would be Max.
India.
India is what we were looking for there. Passed in 1901, this amendment stipulated that conditions for U.S. intervention in Cuban affairs and permitted the U.S. to lease or buy lands for the purpose of establishing naval bases in Cuba. Name this amendment repealed by FDR's Good Neighbor policy. We were looking for the Platt Amendment there. Rami Malek won a 2019 Oscar for his performance as what singer in Bohemian Rhapsody? That would be Toledo Christian. Max.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury, yes. Although often referred to as the Battle of Wounded Knee, this conflict took place in 1890 South Dakota, is also deemed a massacre by many historians. On which Indian reservation did the massacre near Wounded Knee Creek occur? Defiance, Brandon.
The Black Hill Reservation.
Incorrect. Toledo Christian, would you like to steal? Time on that. Pine Ridge Indian Reservation is what we're looking for there. The Scarlet Letter was published in 1850, the first mass-produced book in America. Who was its author? That would be Defiance. Xavier.
Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Correct. What was the end point of Lewis and Clark's westward journey? Toledo Christian. Max.
The Pacific Ocean.
It was indeed the Pacific Ocean. How many members are there in the United States Senate? Toledo Christian. Max.
100.
Correct. In American history, the year 1957 is considered a turning point in its relationship with the Soviet Union. What event began? That will be Defiance. Xavier.
Cold War.
Incorrect. What event began this new competitive relationship between the two countries? That would be Toledo Christian. Max.
The space race.
That's what we're looking for, the space race or the launching of Sputnik. This future president served as vice president under Dwight D. Eisenhower for 8 years, but was narrowly beaten in the 1960 presidential race by John F. Kennedy. Identify this Republican. Defiance. Brandon.
Nixon.
Nixon, yes, that's who we were looking for. Identify this prominent Victorian poet and playwright who penned My Last Duchess, the Pied Piper of Hamelin, and he and his wife's romance is featured in the play and film The Barretts of Wimpole Street. That would be Robert Browning. What American poet wrote, "Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice"? Toledo Christian. Max.
Frost.
It is indeed Robert Frost. In the human body, muscle contractions occur when two types of tissue, one thick and one thin, slide over one another in a series of repetitive events. Which two proteins are found in these tissues? Actin and myosin is what we were looking for there. In humans, the left side of the face is anatomically a mirror image of the right side. Identify this type of symmetry that is also observed in flatworms, spiders, and many other creatures. We were looking for bilateral or mirror symmetry there. Which catchy political slogan was used by presidential candidate James K. Polk in the 1840s during a boundary dispute in the Northwest between the U.S. and Great Britain? "54-40 or fight." End of round. Let's take a look at our score. We have Defiance currently at 20 points and Toledo Christian's currently in the lead with 60 points. You're going to stick around next because our head-to-head round is right around the corner. Stay tuned. Welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. Defiance, 20 points. Toledo Christian at 60 points. Looks like Defiance, you have someone who has joined your team. Tell us who's with you now.
We have Anna. She is a freshman.
All right, welcome to Anna. Toledo Christian, you're staying with your lineup from the last round? All right, we are moving to our head-to-head round. In this round, there are 15 questions. They're worth 10 points apiece. No deduction for an incorrect answer. You may confer as long as you want before and after you buzz in, but the clock is always ticking. You may also buzz in to pass on a question. Now here's the twist. One team's going to stay, the other team is going to go into isolation. Toledo Christian, you're at 60 points. That means you are sticking around. Defiance at 20, that means you are off to isolation. Right this way. All right, Toledo Christian, are you ready for your 15 head-to-head questions?
Yes, we are.
This round starts right now. In what 19th century novel would you find the evil character Simon Legree?
Pass.
Uncle Tom's Cabin. This is the jelly-like material that surrounds the cell's nucleus.
Cytoplasm.
Correct. In what year did Hitler come to power in Germany?
1933.
Correct. In banking, what is another name for a demand deposit account?
CD.
Incorrect. Checking account. Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of whom?
Paul Revere.
Correct. Who were the Axis powers in World War II?
Germany, Japan, and Italy.
Correct. This constitutional amendment changed the minimum voting age to 18.
28th.
Incorrect. The 26th. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution collectively are called?
Bill of Rights.
Correct. In chemistry, this is the temperature at which atoms stop moving.
0 Kelvin.
Will we accept that? We will accept that, yes. This title was given to a book by Thomas More describing the perfect society. Now this word is used to describe any such society.
Utopia.
Correct. What came first, the Mayflower Compact or the Magna Carta?
Magna Carta.
Correct. This Tennessee Williams play with a feline in the title was made into a film starring Elizabeth Taylor.
Cats.
Cat on a hot tin roof. Children receive a DPT vaccine to prevent their being infected with 3 infectious diseases. What are they?
Measles, mumps, and rubella.
Incorrect. Diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. This frontiersman was captured by the Shawnee and adopted as a member of their tribe. He eventually escaped.
Pass.
Daniel Boone is what we're looking for there. What does the abbreviation MSRP stand for? End of round for Toledo Christian. That means it is now time for you to head off to isolation. All right, let's bring back in Defiance. All right, welcome back, Defiance. Are you ready for your 15 head-to-head questions? All right, this round for you starts right now. In what 19th century novel would you find the evil character Simon Legree?
Sleepy Hollow.
Uncle Tom's Cabin. This is the jelly-like material that surrounds the cell's nucleus.
Cytoplasm.
Correct. In what year did Hitler come to power in Germany?
1933.
Correct. In banking, what is another name for a demand deposit account?
Pass.
Checking account. Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of whom?
Paul Revere.
Correct. Who were the Axis powers in World War II?
Japan, Italy, Germany.
Correct. This constitutional amendment changed the minimum voting age to 18.
27th.
Incorrect. 26th. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution collectively are called what?
The Bill of Rights.
Correct. In chemistry, this is the temperature at which atoms stop moving.
Absolute zero.
Absolute zero.
Correct. This title was given to a book by Thomas More describing the perfect society. Now this word is used to describe any such society.
Utopia.
Correct. What came first, the Mayflower Compact or the Magna Carta?
Magna Carta.
Correct. This Tennessee Williams play with a feline in the title was made?
Cat on a tin roof.
Correct. Children receive a DPT vaccine to prevent their being infected with 3 infectious diseases. What are they? Diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. This frontiersman was captured by the Shawnee and adopted as a member of their tribe. He eventually escaped.
Daniel Wolfe.
Daniel Boone is who we needed there. What does the abbreviation MSRP stand for?
Marketing Strategy Rating Plan.
Incorrect. Manufacturer's suggested retail price. That is all 15 questions in the head-to-head round for Defiance. You are now done. It's now time to clear the scores, and let's bring back in Toledo Christian. All right, teams, let's see where we stand. Toledo Christian has 140 points, and Defiance has 110 points. The plot thickens, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to stick around. Our category round is coming up next, where questions are worth up to 30 points apiece. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. Defiance 110, Toledo Christian at 140 points. As we move into our category round, this is the round where the power shifts a little bit to our teams. There are 6 categories to choose from. You can pick anything in there. You can go 10, 20, 30, but you're risking 10, 20, or 30. That's right, deductions are starting right now. You may confer before buzzing in, and you can steal a question in this round. All right, Toledo Christian, Defiance, are you ready? Defiance, you get to make the first selection. The round starts right now.
We're going to start with Game of Thrones for 10.
Game of Thrones for 10 points. I will read you something related to the series of Game of Thrones. You will reply with what I've described. The Emmy Award-winning HBO television show Game of Thrones was based on a series of novels. What was their collective title? It was A Song of Ice and Fire. Defiance still in control.
We're going to switch to Professions for 10.
Professions for 10 points. This person repairs motor vehicles. Defiance, Xavier.
Mechanic.
Mechanic, that's what we're looking for, yeah. Defiance in control.
Professions for 15.
Professions for 15. This person puts together metal parts using machines that generate, that would be Toledo Christian, Nathaniel. Time, Defiance, would you like, or generate high heat, Defiance, would you like to steal? That would be Xavier.
Welder.
That's what we're looking for, welder. Defiance still in control, and they're now in the lead.
We'll take professions for 20.
Professions for 20 points. These people manage financial systems and budgets, provide audits, and give financial advice. That would be Defiance. Brandon.
Accountant.
Accountant is what we're looking for there. Yes, Defiance still in control, a little bit on a run here.
We'll take professions for 25.
Professions for 25. This person measures out medications and fills prescriptions. Toledo Christian, Max.
Pharmacist.
Pharmacist, yes, and Toledo Christian takes back control.
Professions for 30.
Professions for 30 points. These individuals maintain order in the courtroom. Defiance, Anna.
A judge.
Incorrect. Toledo Christian would like to steal. That would be Max.
A officer.
Incorrect. We needed bailiff, specifically a bailiff there. All right, Toledo Christian in control.
French for 10.
French for 10, all right. Translate these common French phrases into English. C'est la vie. That would be Defiance. Anna.
So is life.
So is life. We will accept that, yes. Toledo or Defiance in control.
French for 15.
French for 15 points. Déjà vu. Defiance. Anna.
The same thing again.
We cannot accept that. Toledo Christian, would you like to steal? That would be Max.
Double vision.
We accept that. We will not accept that either. We needed already seen. Already seen. All right, Defiance in control.
We'll take American First Ladies for 10.
American First Ladies for 10 points. I will describe an American First Lady or First Ladies. You name the person or persons described. This First Lady was briefly committed to a mental facility because of her depression. Mary Todd Lincoln. Mary Todd Lincoln. Defiance in control.
We'll take First Ladies for 15.
First Ladies for 15 points. This was the only First Lady elected to public office after leaving the White House. Defiance. Brandon.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, yes. Defiance in control.
We'll take First Ladies for 20.
First Ladies for 20 points. Only 2 First Ladies were born outside the United States, Louisa Adams and who? That would be Toledo Christian. Max.
Washington.
Incorrect. Defiance would like to steal. That would be Xavier.
Melania Trump.
Melania Trump, yes.
First Ladies for 25.
First Ladies now for 25 points. This First Lady was the first to ban alcoholic beverages from the White House. She also inaugurated the Easter egg roll tradition. That would be Lucy Hayes. Lucy Hayes, Defiance in control.
Finish it off, First Ladies for 30.
Finishing off, First Ladies for 30 points. This First Lady was married to someone else when she married the man who would go on to be president. That would be Rachel Jackson. All right, Defiance in control.
We'll try Science Fiction Greats for 10.
Science Fiction Greats for 10 points. Name the science fiction writer described. This writer penned Something Wicked This Way Comes and Fahrenheit 451. Defiance. Anna.
Ray Bradbury.
Correct. Defiance in control.
Fiction Greats for 15.
Fiction Greats for 15. This Frenchman wrote 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Defiance. Anna.
Jules Verne.
Correct. Defiance in control.
Keep it going for 20.
We are going for science fiction at 20. This American writer is best known for his novel Dune and its 5 sequels. Frank Herbert. Frank Herbert. Defiance in control.
Science Fiction Greats for 25.
Science Fiction Greats for 25 points. He wrote Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and The Man in the High Castle. Time. Philip K. Dick. is what we're looking for there. Defiance in control.
Science fiction greats for 30.
Finishing off science fiction greats for 30 points. This writer was also a professor of biochemistry at Boston University. Among his many works is I, Robot. Isaac Asimov is what we were looking for there. Defiance still in control.
We'll go to Judaism for 10.
Judaism for 10 points. Name these people or things associated with Judaism. Language in which Jewish holy scriptures. Defiance. Xavier.
Hebrew.
Correct. Defiance still in control.
Judaism for 15.
Judaism for 15 points. Jewish holy texts, the first 5 books of the Old Testament. Toledo Christian, Max.
Pentateuch.
Will we accept Pentateuch? Yes, or Torah. All right, Toledo Christian in control.
Judaism for 20.
Judaism for 20 points. Hebrew word for teacher or master. That would be Toledo Christian, Max.
Rabbi.
Correct. Toledo Christian in control.
Judaism for 25.
Judaism for 25 points. Word beginning with S, designating a Jewish place of worship. Did it get in time? Did not. We're looking for synagogue there. Let's take a look at our score. Still a close competition. We have Toledo Christian with 120 points. Currently in the lead with 190 points is Defiance. It's all going to come down to our brainstorm round. It's coming up next. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. It is indeed a monstrous mental meltdown as we head into our brainstorm round. We have Toledo Christian 120 points, Defiance at 190 points. Still anybody's game. Both teams have elected to stay with their same lineup from the last round, so here we go. In the brainstorm round, it goes like this. There are questions are worth 20 points apiece. Negative 20 points, that's right, a deduction of 20 points for an incorrect answer. You may confer before buzzing in, but you cannot steal a question. I repeat, you cannot steal a question in this round. Toledo Christian, Defiance, are you ready? Brainstorm round starts right now. The former colony once known as Rhodesia is currently known by one, that would be Defiance. Brandon.
Zimbabwe.
Correct. This explosive event occurs when a star explodes, getting significantly brighter as it ejects most. That would be Toledo Christian. Nathaniel.
Supernova.
Correct. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States. What number is Donald Trump? Toledo Christian, Max.
45th.
Correct. Archaeologists speculate that the earliest Europeans to try to settle North America in about 985 AD came from where? That would be Toledo Christian, Max.
Scandinavia.
Will we accept that? We will. What is the deepest lake in the world? That will be Toledo Christian, Max.
Victoria.
Incorrect. Lake Baikal. Under normal conditions, these gases are odorless, colorless, and have very low chemical reactivity. And that would be Defiance. Xavier.
Noble gases.
Correct. What words are used to name the chief character of a literary work and the person, place, or object that this character must overcome? Defiance. Brandon.
Protagonist and antagonist.
Correct. What do we call it when a chemical reaction breaks a compound into 2 or more parts? That would be Toledo Christian, Max.
Fission.
Disassociation is what we needed there. What was the name of the lunar lander that accompanied the first moonwalk on July 20th, 1969? That would be Toledo Christian. Nathaniel.
Eagle.
Correct. Which branch of chemistry studies the speed of reactions? Kinetics. Name the Native American woman who accompanied Lewis and Clark on their expedition. Toledo Christian, Max.
Sacagawea.
Correct. What is the atomic number of carbon? Toledo Christian, Max.
6.
Correct. What rhetorical term refers to words that sound like what they refer to? Examples include splat, Defiance, Anna.
Onomatopoeia.
Correct. When was Rome sacked? Time, 410 AD. What came first, the American Revolution or the French Revolution? Defiance, Xavier.
French Revolution.
Excuse me?
French Revolution.
Incorrect. American Revolution. As settlers moved west into America's prairies, building materials for homes were scarce. What did the early settlers use instead of wood? Defiance. Anna.
Sod.
Correct. Kuala Lumpur is the capital of what nation? Time. Let's take a look at our score. We have Toledo Christian, 200 points, and our winner with 270 points is Defiance. Let's give both these teams a big round of applause. The spirit of good sportsmanship, let's come around, meet in the middle, shake hands, and we'll see you at the next BGSU Brain Game.